Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a live taping of Making Podcasts Great Again. Give it up for your tech guy, JD Vance.
Hello, New York City. What's going on, everyone? How are we doing tonight? Yes, welcome to a live taping of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, JD. How are we doing tonight, people? Yes, doing well. New York City, Triad Theater. We got to give it up right now for the President of the United States of Mar-a-Lago of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump! Do you know? You want me to go for it? Thank you. You're welcome, Mr. President. How you doing, Mr. President? New York City, where you were born and raised, doing a live podcast here. How does it feel?
You're very close to me.
Okay.
I mean, it needs space. We have Space Force for things like this. We're doing great. And by the way, to anybody who's sitting around here where they're lying about my rally sizes, the Secret Service insisted, only 20% capacity tonight for safety. So, in case you're wondering why it's not my usual sold-out rally, there's people trying to kill your president.
I know.
And, you know, they wanted to come to the Triad, and we said, we're cutting down to only the essential people. You are essential. Thank you. They got better for themselves than your tech stuff.
I realize
Interesting.
that. Yes. Mr. President, how does it feel to be back in New York City, your old stomping ground here, where Trump Tower is?
You know, who I actually ran into today was Melanama's son, Barton.
Oh, he's at NYU. How's he doing?
I didn't talk much. I just sort of waved at him, and I didn't want to get into a long conversation, but he looked like he was doing well.
That's
Very tall.
He is.
He's a tall kid.
Very tall kid. Now, Mr. President, I don't know if you knew, today starts the Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur.
It's a very sacred holiday.
It is.
Very important.
What else do you know about it?
Well, you know, every Yom Kippur we get Ivanka a card because, as you know, she converted to Jewishness. And every Yom Kippur we get her a card to show respect, and it says "Yummy Mummy." And it's Yom Kippur, so we call her Yummy Mummy because she is, I say it as a father, she is quite attractive, very good-looking woman, very hot. Let's just be honest.
Do you know what the Jewish people do on Yom Kippur?
They complain, right?
Yes, definitely a lot on Yom Kippur, like every other day, but yes, extra.
Or as they say in Hebrew, just a...
How do you know Hebrew?
Well, Ivanka is a Jewish person.
Yes.
So, okay, very proud about it. And Bibi, by the way, I'm disappointed. I don't know if we have any Jewish people here, but Bibi actually gave permission. He said, you don't have to go to temple if you were going to Donald Trump show. And he's got that nice bass, his deep voice. You know, it wasn't as deep when he was supporting Sleepy Joe, but now that he's on Trump's side again, he got his testosterone back. We like that. It's very strong.
Well, do you know on Yom Kippur, the Jewish people from sundown Friday can't eat until sundown Saturday? And I'm Jewish and I'm fasting too, so you can't eat for 24 hours. No water, no anything.
That doesn't sound healthy. No water.
No, you're not supposed to. I mean, I cheat a little bit. I'll drink coffee.
Oh, I cheat a lot. Yeah, I guess I would find a way around the
Yom Kippur rules.
Yeah, Young Kipper rules. It sounds like a rapper, Young Kipper. What up, Manischewitz?
Also, you're voicing your dislike of how Biden and Harris are dealing with Hurricane Milton.
Well, it's a disgrace what they're doing. Hurricane Milton, and they give these hurricanes these names. You know, Milton sounds like, you know, your grandpa visiting for young Kipper.
Yeah, no, I agree. Milton doesn't sound like a hurricane that's going to destroy
coming to
states.
Florida. And it's like, of course, there's probably like 2,000 Miltons in Florida right now.
Yes.
Kvetching. I think that's the word. I think that's the Jewish word. But no, it's a disgrace because Milton is apparently a very nasty guy and he's done a lot of damage. And Sleepy Joe is too busy sleeping. And Koala Bear Harris is too busy. I don't know what she's doing, to be honest, but it's not helping. She should have, you know, I've talked to my advisor, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the Democrats have weather machines, and you'd think they would use them for good.
Yes.
You know, like be superheroes, but instead they're like supervillains, and they just let the weather just destroy things when they could stop it. And it's very sad, and it's we don't like it. We don't like it one bit. So.
Do you think they're using the weather machine to try to take out Mar-a-Lago?
Well, they're not going to do that. You know, Mar-a-Lago's too strong for that. But I think they want to take out. You know, they attacked Tampa, where we have tremendous strength in the strip club community. So I think they're trying to take out our strippers for Trump. And we're also hearing that there is a Mountain Dew shortage right now in Florida, which is sort of like the lifeblood of MAGA. So it's obviously a very targeted storm. It's obviously something that was planned. And because what are the odds? They would take out strippers for Trump and Mountain Dew. It's got to be a plan, and we're looking into it.
How would you deal with Hurricane Milton differently?
Well, I first would have taken out my very strong presidential Sharpie, and I would have crossed out Milton.
And what would you name this hurricane? This hurricane is
No, there would
very...
be no hurricane. It wouldn't be there, because I would have Sharpied it out of existence. Bye-bye.
But I don't know if you can just Sharpie Mother
No,
Nature.
actually, you can't Sharpie it. I can Sharpie it.
So you can just Sharpie Mother Nature?
Well, Mother Nature is, first of all, not hot anymore. She used to be. But she is old and frankly disgusting. And so she's really no match. I mean, she's not matched for our tech. We have such tech right now that we're able to use that we can very strongly, you know, we take the map, okay? You get a map and it shows Milton, and then we take a Sharpie and we go bye-bye. And all of it, it's not there.
That's one way to deal with it. Now, let's say you couldn't Sharpie it out. What would you do?
Well, you know, Israel has the Iron Dome. Have you heard of the Iron Dome?
Yep.
We would build the Umbrella Dome, which would be an umbrella to cover the entire country. You put like one little thing, you know, how you put the spoke of it would come out in like, what the hell's the middle of the country, Nebraska, some stupid place like that.
Yeah.
And it pops out and spreads out so that like one spoke goes over Florida, one goes over Maine, one goes over Idaho. We stop at Idaho. We don't need California, and we're at Washington. And it stops at like Texas, and we protect all those places very strongly.
So California is exposed. Is New York exposed?
No, because to cover the crazy people with guns in Maine, it has to go over New York, so we can't, because then you got holes in the iron umbrella, and that's, all of a sudden you got flooding and you got all sorts of problems. And then you just go to, when the hurricane is over, you go to Nebraska and you push the button, and it pops back down. And you put a nice little cover on top of it when it's dry.
It's a brilliant idea. Have you thought it's going to be the Trump umbrella dome?
You know what? That's not a bad idea. I would just call it, Trump Dome.
But let's say you open a sports complex one day. Wouldn't that be the Trump dome?
No, because it would be an outdoor stadium, because only soft teams require shelter.
Gotcha. Of course. Why didn't I think of that? Now, Mr. President, Elon Musk is really...
Great guy. We love Elon.
He is really rooting for Trump. He is all in to elect you. What do you think he's willing to do to get you elected?
Well, he's already told me that he's doing strong algorithms on X, his website, X.
Yes.
X. And so we like that. He's also going to be inserting malware. They call it malware. You ever heard this with computers? It's like bad.
I've heard of it, yes.
It's like when you put it in it's like bad for the computer. He said he's got a list of all the radical left people who drive Teslas. And he's going to put malware in the Tesla. I don't know if he opens up the hood and just dumps the code. Like he prints out the code and throws it in the engine, and then it messes up the engine. And you're going to see around November 1st, a tremendous loss of life in terms of radical left Tesla drivers. They're going to call it the Tesla cost.
Are they going to just explode the Teslas?
They're going to explode.
I don't know.
No, that's too obvious. All of a sudden, you're just going to have people sadly driving off the road very gradually until they go bye-bye. And so it's a very well thought out plan, and that's going to take care of a lot of people, especially in battleground states. We're not even looking at the other states. But if you drive a Tesla in Michigan, for example, and you have a bumper sticker that says coexist, you will not exist anymore.
And then they just drive into one of the Great Lakes.
And well, it's gonna be like the great auto graveyard. But yes, bye bye.
Mr. President, the last piece of news I wanted to talk to you about, and I don't want you to get upset about this, it's just what I read, but cities are citing that where you have been campaigning and having events, that you have over $750,000 of unpaid bills for your campaign events. You're almost dealing with these events like you deal with your lawyers. Now, are you going to pay?
This is first of all, it's fake news. I don't know where you got that from.
Okay.
But what's disgraceful about that is I go to a city. I walk into a city. The city has done nothing. It's like a graveyard. There's scary looking people walking around, empty businesses. It's like it's dead. And then I go to the city, and I bring thousands, maybe even millions of people to my rallies. And they're eating the hot dogs and the cupcakes and the fried foods, and they're buying condoms, and they're doing all the great things to support local businesses. We're putting in, maybe when I have a rally, it might increase the town budget by $1 billion. That's how much my people say. And then they want to say, oh, but you didn't rent, sir, you didn't rent. You have to rent the field for $500. That really? Your town now exists again because of me. It was the Walking Dead when I got there, and now it's the Walking Life.
Right. I mean, I'm sure all these towns really appreciate it. But
it doesn't. I mean, from this fake news, it sounds like some towns don't appreciate it, and it'll be very interesting when I get back into office and we pay visits with tanks to these towns, and we see how they like it. We'll see if they think I still owe money.
Are you saying that when you become president again, you plan on going to these towns and shaking them down?
No, it's not. No, it's not a shakedown. I can simply ask them again, with 10,000 soldiers behind me. How much do I owe you again? And they'll say, nothing, sir. Thank you. We love that you're president, sir. And I go, that's what I thought. Thank you.
All right. Well, that makes much more sense. Now, Mr. President, we have an awesome show in store for tonight. Some of your friends are here. We have special guests here.
I think it's already been an awesome show. They're already very strongly happy.
It is an awesome show. It's going to continue to be an awesome show. And we have two guests tonight. And
well, sometimes you book these guests that I don't like too much. So I hope it's a guest that I like.
I hope you like this first guest, because when you become president again, you're going to be spending a lot of time with this gentleman.
Oh, I didn't realize you were going to say gentleman. I was hoping it was Nancy Mace or Lauren Boebert.
Lauren Boebert is not here. I'm sorry. I wish I could have gotten her for you tonight.
Well, I'll probably get her later tonight anyway.
I'm sure you will. This next gentleman coming out, is it alright if he sits next to you and then I come over here?
No, it depends. I mean, if he's a nice guy.
You like him. I'm convinced that you like him. He is your VP running mate. Please.
Oh, TJ. I love TJ. Come on,
please
TJ.
give it up for JD Vance. Let him hear it, everyone. Hey guys, thanks. Hey guys, what is this? It's a great track.
It's like gay Catholic music.
You know, as the first millennial candidate, I just want to say, the 90s are back. And that was from the 90s, I believe. How are you, sir? It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's great to see you, JP, and I'm proud to have you here. Great VP. And how about everybody? How about the job he did on assistant coach Wolves? How about the job how about the job? Assistant Patriots in the back. Everybody hates their country. But Tampon Tim was he had no chance against Catholic CJ.
It was very easy, sir. I just did exactly what you did. I just said whatever came off the top of the dome.
No, it was a great debate performance. And,
thank you.
You know, we were really, you have a brown wife.
Yes.
And so there was a lot riding on you, proving how strong you were, because there were a lot of people, and as you know, there were people in MAGA who were not too excited about your wife. So, but congratulations, and I'm glad you're not taking offense at anything I'm saying about your wife.
No, I'm not. I was a little confused when you grabbed her tits the second you met her. But I knew you were doing it as a joke, and I like that levity that you bring to all of our institutions, whether it be the institution of marriage or healthcare. So,
and that's what we like about you, because by the way, that sounds gross, but in context. I was simply saying at Mar-a-Lago we were doing a 2-for-1 deal augmentation. And so I was seeing if she wanted, like a touch-up before we become vice president, just I guess it's, you're standing there next to Ivanka, it can be intimidating, but, she said no, and I respected that for now, but obviously for real, by the midterms, she's got to have a bigger chest. You know that. It's okay.
I have talked to her about it many times, sir.
Just tell her it's like a Catholic thing or something.
Yes. The body of Christ can enter you.
Did you see The Passion of the Christ? This was a great movie by Mel Gibson. Good guy. What's he doing for Yom Kippur? I think he's a fan.
Yeah, I'm sure spending time with some Jews and fasting.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and I think in Passion of the Christ, Mary Magdalene, who was like the hooker in the Bible, very big breasts. So that's Bible. You tell your wife it's Bible.
It's Bible. I will say that.
Word of God.
The book
Word
of
of
Mel
God.
Gibson says they gotta have, big ones.
I mean, Mel Gibson made the most famous movie about a Jew, so he can't be anti-Semitic.
That's right.
Jesus wasn't. Am I wrong?
You're right.
I just became
He was
Catholic.
Jewish, yes.
I became Catholic like 3 weeks ago, so I could be wrong about a lot of this.
No, we've heard that he was that Jesus. That's why he does so. That's why he has so many movies. Because he was Jewish. So he does. Hollywood is. We love them. What? They're great people. Great people.
I wish they'd make
Unless they vote for Democrats and then they hate Israel.
Yeah. I wish they'd make more movies and fewer hurricanes. The Jews.
I agree. That's a good point.
I was joking, I think.
That's a good. We like that. We like that very much.
I do not know if you're joking.
I just was waiting to see what my running mate thought of that first.
I understand.
So I was just making sure that we all agreed it was. Jokes.
It's a good joke. Very good joke. Yes. Now, JD, I have a question. When you guys get into the White House, and if Mr. President doesn't approve of your wife being around the White House, are you willing to get a divorce and get a new wife?
Look, I don't want to focus on my own. The most important thing is just getting Kamala Harris out of the White House.
Get her out.
Let's not focus on the other brown women that we want to kick out of the White House. Let's just focus on one at a time, and I will get back to you on that. But I'm sure she's done something. I'll go through her phone. I'll figure it out.
Mr. President, what are your thoughts on his wife?
Well, I keep wondering if there's like a connect. Okay, Kamala is half Indian. This is not. She's half Indian, and your wife is full Indian, I believe. And so, what we'd like her to do, just to prove her loyalty, is to make this sort of. If you've ever watched the movies about the Indians when they're doing the rain dances and sort of doing the different smoking, like they'll smoke the powders and like they'll make like spiritual hallucination connections with the other Indians. Can your wife maybe do some like dances and connect and like read Koala Bear Harris's mind and sort of tell us what she's thinking with respect to the Indians' culture, dances with wolves and everything.
The reason I think people are laughing right now is because you're not used to hearing that word because the woke left changed the name of that baseball team to the Guardians. So in your head, you're thinking of which kind of... And I just want to say thank you, Mr. President. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're welcome.
Because you have a lot of good ideas, and I will try.
That's what we like. It's called effort. It's called effort, and we like effort. And effort is, it's important. I think you'd agree, Tech, because sometimes people don't do effort. They walk around and they walk into the restaurant and they want to sit down and order a meal, and they say, "Can I have a steak, please?" And they just sit there, and all of a sudden you see a waitress come in, and she's very hot, but they're telling you can't say anything to her, and then you like grab her while you're walking to the bathroom, and they scream, and it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing that they're doing to our country. And it's about effort. It's about effort. You gotta try. You gotta try.
Now, I think what the former president is trying to say is that we're going to do away with tax on tips. That's all we're going to say. No more tax on tips.
We like JD. We like JD. That's it. He's a Trump whisperer, they call him.
Trump policy.
I read that. I guess I read that wrong. I thought he wanted more sexual harassment to be legal. That's what I saw.
Well, we've never confused. The tech stuff agency has always been sending. What's your name again?
Jay.
Ray. They're always sending these people to us, and it's like, like radical tech rhymes with radical left, because you come in here and we're men talking about things the way America needs them to be talked about, and you come in here with sexual harassment, sir. No, it's called Truth Social.
Now, JD, Mr. President's a huge fan of McDonald's. He has McDonald's a lot. We know, Mr. President, fish fillet, is that your...
That's sort of the appetizer.
Okay.
2 fish fillet sandwiches followed by a 20-piece McNuggets, two apple pies, a Big Mac, supersized fries. They actually still supersize the fries. Remember when the woke left? We had supersized fries, and then some guy, he died. He did a documentary, and he couldn't handle his McDonald's, and they were like, we have to get rid of the super. That's when wokeness started to take over, okay? They came for our McDonald's, and we didn't do a damn thing. We let them take our McDonald's, it's called freedom, and the supersize. We had a supersized fry. It was like unlimited fries, and they took it away because one guy did a stupid documentary, and all of a sudden we couldn't have the fries, but they supersized it for me.
I think what he's trying to say is that Kamala never worked at McDonald's. That's what he's trying to say. And I think I got it right. Just ignore everything else.
I wanted to know, JD, when you guys go to McDonald's together, what is your order?
Well, I try to order a large fry, and President Trump eats most of it. So if I'm being honest, and then my stupid fucking kids, they eat what's left of the nuggets, and
I think his kids would be smarter, but they're very dumb.
So honestly, I just get the regular Mountain Dew. They don't have a Diet Mountain Dew. You never find a Diet Mountain Dew there, and it's my childhood. I just slurp that soda, and that's the calories I get for the day, and then maybe someone throws me like a Luna bar, and that's it. It's very nice. It's very nice to be on the campaign trail.
You got it, Mr. President.
They're making these water bottles so heavy.
Now, JD, you were in New York City.
Yes.
The city that never sleeps.
Yes.
What are your plans tonight after this?
Well, it's just frankly disgusting what I've seen on the street here tonight. I saw people on fentanyl that was in their cocaine, and mostly I've seen a lot of people on cocaine, and they look like they're having a great time. And I saw a ton of police officers who were all apparently getting the word out on Twitter about President Trump's campaign, because they were on their phones.
They're all
the whole time I saw.
texting. This is what New York, they defunded the police, so the police can't fight crime anymore. They can only stand in groups of 6, texting each other.
That's right. You can't even
Getting
put a
numbers of
chokehold on
women.
anybody.
The only thing they're doing now is harassing women for numbers and texting
right.
each other.
That's right.
And not even looking at crime because we defunded the police.
Yes.
And they've got to share a cell phone plan or be on the Wi-Fi because they can't even afford their own phone plan. It's a disgrace.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're staying at Trump Tower tonight?
Oh, I didn't even have the ability to ask him. Can I stay at Trump Tower?
It's a JP. It's a camp. There's these woke campaign rules with the finance, and that if I let you stay in my building, it's like a violation of church and an apartment.
Yeah. So
we're gonna change. We're gonna change it when we get to we're gonna change that.
I'm at a Radisson in Gowanus.
Why Gowanus? It's very far.
All 3 kids we're all just staying in the same room. 1 bed, king bed. Couldn't get 2 queens, so
Sorry.
that's where I'm at. I took the F train here. And I had to, and you know what? It was nice. I didn't feel like if I drove around, I understand that might be a little safer, but honestly, I took the train. I felt very safe, but I did thank everyone for not stabbing me when I got off, and they did not seem to care.
Well,
didn't care about my eyeliner either. I guess there's enough people in New York that look like this.
yep. Well, JD, I hope you have a fun time tonight in the city for a little bit, and good luck getting back to Gowanus.
We're gonna go down to the bubblegum shrimp.
Oh,
Just a real New York experience.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
We're gonna have you back again later.
Great.
But right now,
Get out of here.
Oh, so I don't. Well, I don't.
No, later. But right now, your segment's over. And
Okay,
then
I just want to say in 2028, I will be running again. So whatever happens here, best of luck, and we'll see you out there on the campaign. Ignore that. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much, JD Vance, everyone. JD Vance. Thank you, JD. Like, this is the music that like people would like trip on mushrooms to in the 90s.
Yeah, this was in the 90s. It was when, for some reason in the 90s, we were a weird country that people liked Gregory Chance. I don't know who he was, but they were very big into Gregory Chance.
Well, Mr. President, before we bring out our next guest, I wanted to play a game with you. And the word association game. You know how to play that game?
We like that because it shows how quick I am.
Yes, and you can use words.
It's called cognitive.
Yes, I know you like to express yourself with words and not just one single word. So you can say whatever's on your mind. And I'm naming 10 things that New York City is known for. Okay. And you just tell me your opinion and first thing that comes to your mind.
First thing.
Statue of Liberty.
Not hot.
Who looks at the Statue of Liberty to like date her?
Nobody, because she's not hot.
Okay. The West Village.
Where Mike Pence would secretly stay when we would do fundraisers for 2016.
So you're outing him now?
I think we've been outing him for the entire show. 6 years.
Empire State Building.
You know, I was just, obviously 9/11 was a horrible day, except for the fact that I had the tallest building in Lower Manhattan. So that was, you know, like a silver lining to an otherwise not great day. But I always was annoyed at the Empire State Building because I was like, why can't somebody attack that? And then I'd have the tallest building in Midtown. That's all. That's you know, just asking.
So when I say Empire State Building, you wish someone took it out, so you would have the largest building?
See, I didn't. Everybody knows I didn't say that. I didn't say it. I said I think about. I don't want. I never used the. Excuse me.
My
Excuse me. I never said want.
Okay.
Just thought about it.
Okay. Ground Zero.
Very sacred place. Very sacred place. It's. What happened there? I know it's ground zero. Well, it's ground zero.
9/11.
It's a ground zero.
You know, those towers that all taken out by terrorists.
It was no. It's be sensitive. It was it was not good. Yeah, no, I don't even know why you put that on the list. To be honest.
Broadway.
I would say gay people singing and dancing.
Do you ever attend Broadway shows when you're here in New York?
No, because they're usually radical left people doing productions. You know, I like, yeah, if they did like Kid Rock the musical, I might see that. But no, I don't need to see Hamilton. By the way, he was never president.
How about Michael Jackson has a show on Broadway now? That's King of Pop. How can you go wrong there?
Well, okay, so Michael Jackson has a show, and yet when I pitched a Jeff Epstein musical, I said, no sir, that would be inappropriate, sir. And I said, well, that's called racist, because he was Michael Jackson was a DEI pedophile, and if they were being fair, we would have a Jeff Epstein musical.
Did you have a name in the works for the Jeff Epstein musical?
Yes.
Can you reveal it?
Well, it's sort of intellectual property. I don't know. But I would say, okay, the title of the Jeff Epstein musical was very simple. It was called, Would You Like Another Capri Sun?
It's an attention getter for a title for sure.
Well, we had the marketing type because Capri Sun was going to like sponsor and fund it, and we'd get a Capri Sun in the audience. Although I always hate, remember those pouches? You try to put the straw, it was like a silicone implant in your hand and you're a kid. You don't even know how to handle it and you're like trying to inject the silicone. It's like, a box, a juice box, why'd they have to be so complicated?
I don't know why they have those pouches either. Makes no sense.
It's a disgrace.
Awful. How about the Upper East Side?
A lot of Yom Kippur.
Is that a nice way of saying too many Jews in the Upper East Side?
Excuse me, I didn't say too many. Who the hell said too many?
I'm just asking a question. You can say no. I'm just asking.
Too many Democrat Jews, I can tell you that.
All right, fine.
Who hate Israel.
I'm not sure you ever were on this, but the subway.
We call it the murder tube.
Have you ever, when was the last time you rode the subway? I'm sure when you were young, you rode the subway.
It was in 1984. This is an interesting story.
Okay.
And I was hanging out with a guy I just met. His name was Bernie Getz. And we were having a pleasant conversation. And then I saw a few black teens walking, and I said, I'm going to get out of here, but I think they're trouble. And I left at the next stop. So I don't know what happened after that, but, that was probably the last time I was on the subway.
Your son is in Barron. He goes to NYU.
Who?
Barton, Melania's child.
Oh, Melatonin's tall guy.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you instruct him to take the subway or only take Ubers?
I actually tried to put him on the subway when he was 7 because he was hanging around us too much. sort of cock blocking because melatonin still looked very good then.
Yes.
So I went in more private and she was like, no, they have my son. And I'm like, well, you gotta learn sometime. Hey, Brendan, get on the 1 train and see what happens. And she wouldn't let him. But now we're empty nesters.
Yes.
Empty nesters where we have an empty nest. And Barton is at a school somewhere, we don't know where really. And now I have my Lanta all to myself.
Does Barton even fit on the subway? He's a large boy.
He's very tall, I don't know if he fits, but hopefully he gets where the hell he's going.
Okay. 3 more things about New York City.
It's a lot of things.
It's 10, a list of 10, right? The homeless.
Smelly?
I agree. You plan on helping the homeless when you become president again?
Yes, we're going to do so much for the homeless. We're going to make them all disappear. Bye-bye. No more homeless. We're going to solve homelessness. You will not see any more homeless people. Be very wonderful for all our cities.
I need to ask, what are you going to do with them?
We have a policy called Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
But then I'm going to make an assumption, then you're going to get mad at me for making an assumption. Are you going to murder them?
Don't ask, don't tell.
Okay. How about the neighborhood of Chelsea?
Where Mike Pence's friends would leave to meet him in the West Village.
And the last place in New York City doesn't get the respect it deserves. South Street Seaport.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion on
No, you don't like it?
I don't have an opinion on it. Isn't that where the Staten Island ferry comes in?
I don't know.
Well, there you go. We like the Staten Island ferry. We like it's got great people on that.
Those are all
some of our best people.
Some of your best. Mountain Dew Army.
Well, up north, it's not the, like there's checkers and rallies, and they're like different in different regions. It's not the Mountain Dew Army up here. It's the White Claw Brigade.
Now, Mr. President, we have one more guest, and then we will bring out
JD Vance again, and I will take questions from the audience at the end of the show.
But you did well on the first guest. You know, that was a pleasant surprise because you're usually horrible with guests.
Well, you and this guest have something in common because you were both presidents. So I figure...
Well, I think you should sit in the, unless it's the ghost of Ronald Reagan, I think you should sit in the middle seat because I don't think I like where this is going.
Okay, I will sit in the middle seat. That's not a problem. Please, a large round of applause for former President Barack Obama.
This audience. I see faces of every kind. A lot of different demos. All under one roof. In one nation. One fabric. One quilt. I call that material, I spell that material, A-M-E-R-I-C-A. America. Oh, hi.
So, Mr. President, you guys know each other.
It's true.
You guys are both presidents.
We were.
And he may be president again.
2 terms.
So,
back to back. That's how you learn lessons.
oh wow.
No, I'm sorry.
Now,
Good to see you, Donald, as always.
first of all,
Oh boy, he's processing. Don't glitch out on us.
tech stuff.
Yes.
We've talked about this. His name is Barack
Hussein
Hussein.
Obama. That's
I forgot. I knew it was former president, but I forgot the Hussein part.
Well, that's the most important part.
it. Yours is DJ, right? Donald J. Trump. Why does nobody call him DJ?
Because they have respect for me, unlike you, who came out here dressed like some sort of European DJ. Which he probably wants to be because he wanted to make us like Europe and socialist, not a great country. And we were a disaster when he was done. And we're going to have to save it again because his vice president was an even bigger disaster than him.
Who hurt you?
You heard our country.
I hurt your country.
Our country was great.
Is this about the time that I called you out at the White House Correspondents' Dinner?
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, no,
I don't even remember. You and Seth Meyers
Why
making
would you
jokes.
say you don't remember that?
I don't even remember who was hosting besides Seth Meyers.
That's what this is about. Do you need an apology? Is that what this is about? Would that make this all go away?
Your apology would be as real as your birth certificate, so no thank you.
Wow.
I thought you guys were gonna hug it out tonight. That was my plan, to bring you here, and then you guys bury the hatchet.
If I hugged this Netflix producer, I would crush him because he's practically a vegan. He's always eating salmon, which is like the vegan
What are you
fish.
eating? Yeah.
Well, I'm eating fish fillet at McDonald's. It's called American food. You should try it.
You know, Donald, it's like a new day, but the same old shit. And I have to say, you know, Michelle and I, Sasha Malik, we've moved to Los Angeles. We enjoy it. I've got a new
thing set up at Netflix. It's going really well, Tech Guy.
That's awesome.
So many different, there's Vodka just came out, new series. I suggest you watch that.
This company is
I've got different Emmys,
Boring
Academy Awards.
documentaries.
They are important documentaries. They're about working people. And
He did a documentary called Crip Camp. He's endorsing the Crips, which are a gang.
if I may, it is about people that are otherly able, don't want to get canceled. And that's what it's about. And you know that, and you are doing once more. You are spreading lies, just like you've been.
Crip Camp. Tech stuff. Crip Camp. What's
Folks,
next?
folks.
Blood's Bakery.
If I may, I'm trying to keep it cordial. And I wonder, has anybody seen the documentary? Woo! Thank you so much, sir, for watching. See, was it about the Bloods and the Crips, sir?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you so much.
Well, it must have been some documentary if he's not sure if it was about the
You know, Donald, I can't do this with you. Okay, I can't do this. We made.
And believe me, if you could still run for president, you would lose.
I really doubt that at this point. I think I am so beloved and missed. I'm like the Seinfeld of presidents. People. I'm beloved. I'm the Bucky's of presidents. People. Exactly.
Well, I don't want you guys to keep getting at each other, but let's try to make
Our
this...
country became divided when he got elected because he got up there all black and everybody it upset
I am
a lot of the
not all
country.
black. I am not all black.
He was up there.
I am not all black.
And the country got upset, and we've never healed from that moment.
I feel like you're projecting your issues onto the country.
Now, my issues are that our country used to be great, and then we had Hurricane Obama and Typhoon Biden, and now they're looking for Earthquake Kamala.
Speaking of which, you've been giving misinformation as usual, and about Hurricane
Information,
Milton.
by the way, information doesn't have a gender. I know you want to gender everything. It actually doesn't have a gender. Misinformation. Oh, the next he's going to come out and say it's now Mr. Information wants to be a Mr.
Sorry, I had to sneeze. Okay,
Trump bless you.
Disinformation then. Disinformation. You said that the president was with.
You see how he's trying to talk like a street bike? He's like disinformation or bad information. It's horrible. Speak like a president.
If I may, you were distributing propaganda about. May I say that? Is that okay?
That's okay.
Thank you, because that's your wheelhouse. Now, you were saying this about North Carolina. You said that Joe was not giving aid to the people hit by Hurricane Helene, and that's not correct.
That's actually absolutely true.
That is okay. Cite your sources.
There was a person.
This sounds.
We have a person who
do they have a name?
Jethro. He's a small business owner just outside of Asheville, North Carolina.
Yes.
And his entire business, which was sandcastles,
Excuse me?
completely washed away. The hurricane destroyed his entire sandcastles, and he applied for FEMA. He said FEMA. And FEMA
Why
said
are you saying it
no.
like that?
FEMA said
Why-
no.
why
They
have-
said no,
Why-
you can't, even though your entire business is going no.
I
you
am
can't.
questioning the veracity of your statements.
Well, Jethro, I met Jethro.
Well, did he have a last name? Let's talk about what. Can we Google
Tull.
this? Jethro Tull.
And he said, my business is gone. It's completely gone. And I want to help him. When I get back in the office, the first thing I'm going is I'm going to help Jethro Tull.
Okay, and he's in no way related to the singer, Jethro Tull.
Who's that?
The musician, Jethro Tull. He was big in the 70s.
And I
It
just
almost feels like you're just making this up, like you do all the time. When you make up a little story, you say, "Oh, sir, oh, they came up to me and were like, sir," like who talks like that?
Well, certainly not me. Certainly not me. That was an old woman. I am not that. I am a strong man. I know the Democrats don't like men anymore, but it's true. I'm a man, and I'm pretty strong.
Now, I have to say that this, I mean, all the lies that you're perpetuating, the eating of cats and dogs, the hurricane stuff, this is, have you come
We have a source, by the way. Everybody's saying, what's your source on the pets? The Haitians eating pets. And I'm going to tell you this right now. A guy, now this is a guy, you want a full name. His name was Leonard.
Yes.
And he was in Springfield, Ohio.
Okay.
And he had a beautiful golden retriever. Very beautiful. And he named it Trump. A golden retriever named Trump. And he said, sir, because it had flowing golden hair, sir. And Leonard Skinner said to me, they ate my golden retriever. And it's a disgrace.
Hold on.
And it's sad.
Hold on.
It's sad. And the fact that Democrats...
You're just quoting...
The fact that Democrats...
You're just quoting famous musicians from the 1970s.
They won't acknowledge...
Leonard Skinner and Just Grow Tall.
Leonard.
Yeah, I know.
They call him Len. I was just being official and formal. It's Len Skinner.
Can I ask a question? Now, you've been talking about Colorado and saying that the town of Aurora is overrun with immigrants. Now, who can I ask, is your source on that? Aerosmith?
That's a band. I thought you knew pop culture with your Netflix and your Bruce Springsteen podcast.
Well, Bruce, actually, I was just on the phone with Bruce before this.
No, my source is very simple. A nice man, very pleasant, named John Denver. And his name, obviously, he knows excuse me.
I'm sorry, it's cold and flu season.
He knows
What?
Colorado. I mean, his name is Denver.
Yeah, John Denver is not from Colorado. He was not. He is
John
dead.
Denver I talked to.
He is quite dead. And John Denver was not from Colorado.
The John Denver I talked to is very much alive and in Colorado right now.
Get him on the phone.
Then he can look at then he has caller ID and can call me back.
Come on.
No, John Denver, very strong guy, in Aurora, Colorado. And you'd think he'd be from Denver, but he's actually in Aurora.
Yes, we've covered that.
And he has seen an unbelievable... He has a rock candy company called Rocky Mountain High.
Where are you going with this? It's free association that goes nowhere. People leave your rallies.
Not one person is envious. These are great people, and they see what the hell you're doing, and it's not nice.
Now, guys, I'm sure you can argue all night.
All night.
Now, Mr. President,
yes, he's quite
Mr.
out of shape.
Former President, I'm sorry, Mr. President, Mr. Former President,
Also, Mr. Former President.
Well, that's if you believe the election wasn't stolen, which it was.
one question. Let me get one question in.
I'm actually going to
please.
win a third election this year, which is one more than Hussein Obama ever won.
I didn't need to.
Now,
And you couldn't if you wanted to.
Go on. I'm sorry.
before you leave, former President Barack Hussein Obama, I wanted to ask you.
Award-winning president.
Yes.
Nobel.
Nobel Peace. Yes.
Emmys.
Yes.
I think an Oscar.
Yep.
Have a national park named after me.
Yep. Well, I wanted to ask you.
It's in Kenya.
It's not in Kenya. My brother's there, and we don't get along.
If you can give President Trump one piece of advice going into the last leg of this election right here,
Yeah.
what advice would you give him?
I tell him to lean into the fatty foods. Just see what happens. Yeah.
Good advice, Mr. President?
I had a Christian meal of Chick-fil-A just before this, and I will continue to eat faith-based foods like Chick-fil-A because it gives me strength and energy and Jesus power.
Well, former President Barack Hussein Obama, you can stay right here because we're going to bring out JD Vance again.
Oh, God.
It's about time he can deal with whatever his name
Which
is.
side is JD?
JD, you can come have a seat.
By the way.
you guys have to share microphones?
You kicked over my water.
I didn't touch the water. I was
They all saw it. You kicked over my water.
And it's
And
accidents
now
happen.
it's spilling. Now, this is an attempt on my life. We're going to have a secret service.
I didn't do anything.
They're playing it fast and loose.
But you guys can all have a seat.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm going to go into the audience right now, and we're going to see what questions people have for the panel. Questions for any of our presidents up here, and including our VP nomination here. So I'm going to come around and raise your hand if you'd like a question. State your name. There you go, sir. Here you go.
Yes, Mr. Trump, ex-President Trump,
Soon to be, or you could say future President Trump, whichever.
future
Thank you.
possibly. We've heard comments about your small hands. Does that have anything to do with the rest of the anatomy?
That's a good question.
No, it's actually, they've actually said it was like, remember OJ? Remember my great friend OJ when he put the gloves on? When I go to hand stores, they don't even have gloves big enough. They say, sir, we don't have your size. Your hands are too big. And, and then when I go to the pants store, they say the doorknob matches the hands.
Actually, there was, I've seen closed circuit TV footage of him going to the alleged store. The store is called Hefty Lads. And it's here on the Upper West Side. And I have to tell you, of course nothing fits there, Don.
Not everybody can be somebody who eats a leaf of lettuce and whose wife is stronger than he is. Some of us have to be strong men.
Do we have other questions? Right around here we go. We're the president. Oh, whoever you want.
Mr. President, you're so strong and powerful. How
Thank
do you
you.
win all of those golf matches?
Well, that's a great question. That's a great question. We like that. My strength, ever see the movie Happy Gilmore? He was a very strong driver. He drove the crap out of the ball. And I'm like that, except I also have a great short game. So it's sort of, I actually beat Tiger Woods. I would go off with Tiger Woods, and he claims it was injuries, but I beat him so badly, he just said, I think I'm done with golf, sir. And I said, I think you are too.
When was that?
Several years ago.
When?
And then he crashed his car. He was so upset, and then he crashed his car later that night.
Convenient, very convenient.
Do you have any other questions for any of the presidents? All right, back here. Here you go.
Mr. President, recently you said that you thought that Barack Hussein Obama was going to vote for you, and because he hated Kamala so much. Are you confident in that? And Mr. Obama, how is this true or not?
Well, I can tell you that we have great sources.
Who told you this?
A person who is actually in the White House,
Okay.
Jack White.
Wait, of the White Stripes?
And he said
Hold on.
that he had heard you talking very nasty about Koala Bear Harris because you're sort of jealous
Excuse me?
because you got to be the first.
Her name is Kamala.
You got to be the first half-black president. She's going to get to be the first woman, the first Indian, and the first black woman. She's got so many firsts, and you're jealous. That's the truth.
I'm not, I'm all...
She's going to make a lot more. She's not going to get in there because you're going to vote for me, and a lot of people are going to vote for me.
I am not voting.
She would make so much history. You'd be so jealous. You'd be insanely jealous.
Why would I be insanely jealous?
Because you only made a little history, and she would make a lot of history.
You can give the microphone to I don't think he's going to give it up to him.
I just want to say I'm still undecided.
Thank you, Thank you.
That was some of JD's classic Ohio humor. Very funny guy.
Look, I have nothing but respect and pride, admiration for Kamala. And you know, you mess up her name. You call her Koala. You call her, Whatever. The koala bear? Why don't we just call her VP Harris? Have you ever noticed that? That I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to Obama-splain feminism. With Hillary Clinton, we called her Hillary. Now you think about other presidential candidates, and you go way back, and men are all called by their last names. Kennedy, Nixon. Why not Harris? And I put that to you, Donald Trump. Can you do it?
Who?
I'm sorry, I was trying to find my water back.
Do we have any other questions for any of the politicians up here? Here you go, sir.
Mr. Trump, yeah, so you say that your crowds on Inauguration Day were bigger than Barack Obama's ever was.
By a lot, actually.
Was? Yeah, well, I just wanted to find out from Mr. Obama.
Sure.
I voted for you twice.
Thank you.
I voted for Mr. Trump 0 times.
Get him out! Get him out! Horrible guy. What an awful person.
This is still a democracy.
A real
He's
horrible guy.
allowed to say what you will. Thank you very much for your vote, and I appreciate that I inspired your confidence, and I appreciate that. Now the question was as to crowd size.
Yeah, so what do you think about Mr. Trump's response, his rhetoric about his crowd size being bigger than yours? He might even brag about other parts of his anatomy being bigger than yours.
He does have a fat head.
Classic black guy.
Yeah, I mean, what more is there to say? If I may, have you ever noticed that Donald does? He's all ass first. I don't know what this is, but your posterior is. Yeah.
See,
Yes.
everybody knows that's where your strength comes from. The base. The base. You gotta have strength in the lower body, and then you have power, and then you see other people, and you wouldn't know about this because you're very skinny. And they respect it because they know you have power. You're more of like you probably do like biceps and cardio at the gym.
Why are you worried about my workout?
Because you made our country weak, because everybody could see that you were a weak leader with no base.
Can I ask why you tuck your t-shirts into your pants when you golf? It looks disgusting.
Well, here's the thing about golf that you wouldn't know because you're probably banned from most of our great golf is that it's called respect and it's called etiquette.
Yeah.
Etiquette. Where you dress a proper certain way.
Etiquette?
A proper way. It's called proper.
Okay. Is that all you do on the weekends is play golf? To avoid your family?
Oh, should I do a podcast with Bruce Springsteen that nobody listens to?
If you can. I mean, Bruce and I, we're renegades. That's how it is.
Just 2 billionaire renegades. Classic renegade behavior.
Aren't you a billionaire? You
But I
keep
don't-
saying that you're a
I don't
billionaire.
claim to be a renegade. I'm a president.
Something to think about.
Do we have any more questions for our panel here? Here you go, ma'am.
So, JP, I'm a childless cat lady, and I'm just wondering why you're so obsessed with my uterus.
Look, I just want to say, the press is digging up all these old clips of me saying stuff from 20, 30 days ago, and I'm focused on the future. I'm focused on the future and the dystopia that Trump and I want to create so that you have to have kids, and then you won't be asking me these questions.
Great VP.
Thank you, JD. Do we have any more questions here for, here we go, sir.
Yeah, Mr. President, sir, I'm just wondering, it's very sad to not
He's talking
see...
to me, by the way, Barack.
I've already served. I'm fine. I'm not trying to clamor to get back in.
Excuse me, there's a person asking the president a question.
I'm talking to you, but Barack, you can feel free to answer
Thank
this
you
as well.
so much.
I miss Vice President Mike Pence. Do you miss him at all? Do you think about him
that's a
ever?
good question.
Do you ever just wish that he was next to you?
Who is that?
That's a good question. Why you have to have another vice presidential candidate?
Did you have another?
How is he doing these days? Do you guys check in?
Okay. Mike Pence was a nice guy.
Was?
And he was he used to be. And he was a good guy, and he was faith, he had lots of faith. He was like the George Michael of my administration. A lot of faith and a few secrets. And he was good, he did a good job, but as you know, or maybe you don't know, it's when the toughest challenges, okay, remember COVID, how well I did with that? It's when the toughest challenges...
Millions of people
Excuse me. Under your administration...
You told them to put sanitizer in their bodies. You said to put UV lights into... You're like, can we do that? Can we put lights on somebody's body?
COVID was developed...
What the hell were you talking about?
COVID was developed under your administration.
It was not... What?
It started under your administration.
It did not start under my... I was not tough enough on China.
You were not tough on China.
And that's why it started in 2016 and just did a slow burn until 2020?
It was a very slow burn. That's why I was so potent. But Mike Pence did a good job until he was tested. You get it? You do a job, and you do a nice job, but it only really matters when you get tested. And he was tested on January 6th, 2021, a very important day in the history of our country.
Mike Pence stood up and did his job. He certified the election as he was supposed to, as president of the Senate.
If the job was to do that, we could have gotten like a self-checkout machine to just certify the election. Boom! And then all of a sudden it's certified. But why have a vice president there, the second most powerful person, if it's just self-checkout? Self-checkout certification. No, because we had a vice president there who could have stopped it. He could have stopped it. He didn't have the courage to because Democrats like you had intimidated him. And he took the coward's way out, and he ran like a dog with his wife mother, and they ran and they hid, and they could have saved our country from a disaster, a complete disaster, but they didn't. They ran fast, they hid. None of my supporters who wanted to hang him could find him anywhere. He hid like a coward, and he ruined our country. He absolutely ruined our country.
I'm sorry, what did the supporters do?
I wanted to hang out with Mike Pence and support him.
In ways, yeah. I mean, I feel like Mike Pence stood up, did his job, consecrated by our Constitution, hallowed in time, and made sure that the votes were counted and properly, and the transference of power was properly done.
It was not properly done. It was robbed. It was a total theft.
I think you feel the same way about when The Apprentice did not get the Emmy in 2013. Is that true?
The Apprentice was the most successful reality show of all time. And the fact that it didn't win was because they were stupid.
It's just that every time you lose a contest, you say that it's rigged.
Well, you know what? You know who else hated losing? A guy named Michael Jordan, and I'm basically the Michael Jordan of politics. So I'm sorry that I'm not comfortable losing like you, or Sleepy Joe, or Kokomo Harris. I like to win, and America wants a president who wins. They want winners. They don't want losers.
You lost.
I won, I won like nobody's ever seen before, and
by losing
again. And I'm going to have to win a third, and I'm going to take a fourth term to make up for the second one that was stolen.
You can't do that. You understand?
Watch me.
Oh, God.
Everyone, thank you so much for coming out for this recording of Making Podcast Great Again. Just remember, we are at Chicago next week on the...
make sure they all listen. If they're not
I'm going to
listening.
get to it. I'm going to get to it, Mr. President. We are doing a live recording in Chicago at the Comedy Plex on the 18th, next Friday night at 8 p.m. And if you enjoyed the show, check out Making Podcasts Great Again on iTunes, on Spotify. Become a listener. Please give it up for JD Vance. One more time. We have former President Barack Hussein Obama. And of course,